children. Only you can save your children. You must make yourself remember.
Remember what?
Peter, don't you know who you are? You have to fly. You have to... Fly!
Oh my God, where are we going?
To Never Never Land.
Well, I have a guest, and I will be reviewing Hook, and I will do that.
Who are you?
Chip Cod Roach, and I will be reviewing Hook right after this message from these brave little guys that'll be singing a song very shortly.
Season is official.
California raisins from the California vineyards.
Don't you know that
Sounds great, doesn't it?
Well, it would be going back to 1991. Yes, because I forgot what year we left off with, but yes. We are taking that magical trip back to 1991 and reviewing Hook, because as we all know, Maggie Smith passed away a couple days ago. So, not to be embarrassed here, I actually had to look up to see who Maggie Smith was. I thought she was the actress in Hook, but I didn't know for sure because, to be honest, I haven't seen her in a whole lot. But apparently she was in, obviously, Hook, but she was in the Sister Act movies, which I thought she was in those, but didn't know for sure. But apparently people know her, yes, the younger generation knows her from the precious Harry Potter movies, which I am proud to say I have never seen.
You will.
Great. So...
You made me... First of all, I never actually watched them all either, so it's okay. But you may watch all yours so you can watch what I own.
Yeah, but I don't know anything that bad. So, yeah, so this came out in 1991. Really? I believe the big movie in this year was probably Beauty and the Beast. I'm almost positive. Yeah, it came out in 1991. Addams Family came out in 1991, to name a couple. I know I've done the list in 91 for sure. Oh, that was Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. That also came out in 1991. That's when I.
So then Home Alone came out that year.
Home Alone did come out that year. Actually, I thought that came out in November of 1990.
Was it?
Yeah. But 1991 was a powerhouse year, again, for movies. And this one I knew nothing about when I went to the theater to see it. This one does stick out in my mind as a very memorable movie that I saw because my dad just came in the living room and he said, we're going to the show. Well, he asked me if I wanted to go. I, of course, said yes. I probably mentioned some movies he did not want to see, so he said we're going to see Hook. Okay, fine, I'll see that, but what is it? Oh, it's about Captain Hook. Oh, okay, is it a cartoon? No. Okay, so then we got in the car and I asked a million questions, and I'm sure I made him very angry.
Shocker.
He said it wasn't a cartoon, so now I'm thinking, okay, well, how did they get Peter Pan to fly? How did they get Tinkerbell? How is Julia Roberts small? I had all these questions. I'm sure I'm driving him crazy, and it didn't end there. We get into the movie theater, and me being a stupid 7 or 8-year-old kid, he has me pick out the seat.
You did not.
Oh, I did. I said, well, you know what? I've never sat in the front row before.
There's a reason why nobody sits in the front.
Well, then they should make it. So we sat in the front row. And this was 2 hours and 20 minutes long. So because I was so small, it probably had no effect on me. But...
That's probably why you have a long neck.
Probably. But my dad was probably watching the movie like this the whole time. And probably swearing at me. But it was nice because he still shared his all-cherry lifesavers with me. Which he got in his stocking. So that's how I know we saw this over the holiday break. So that was nice of him.
I would have killed you. You would never got none of my candy.
Yeah, he pretty much said we're never going to sit in the front row again. And I remember it, like I said, it had no effect on me whatsoever. So, I saw the movie back then. Obviously, as a kid, I liked it. Do I like it now? We will find out. But apparently, from what I just read, the critics hated this.
What critics?
Well, for one, my favorite, Fat Boy and Ebert, or I'm sorry, Fat Boy and Siskel, or Siskel and Fat Boy, however you want to say it. The bald guy with no sense of humor and the fat man that makes chairs scream every time he sits on them. In his really ugly sweaters. They did not like it, but then I just read that other ones did not like it either. They wanted Steven Spielberg, the director, to apparently make the next step to make a bigger, more adult movie. I don't know.
It's for children.
Apparently they wanted him to do adult movies. So, whatever. They did not like it. But all my friends who I talked to still seem to like this movie today. So I decided to watch it again. And I will tell you what I still think about it. And this was starring... This is also starring Robin Williams. He doesn't need much of an introduction, but for those who don't know, he was the voice of old. He was the voice of the genie in Aladdin. He was in
I did not know that
Dead
actually.
Poets Society. He was
Never seen it.
he was in Good Morning Vietnam.
Nope.
Good Will Hunting. Patch
Nope.
Adams.
No, probably movies I know.
RV.
Nope.
Okay. Man of the Year.
Nope.
I don't know if he wasn't anything that you've heard of. But obviously, I'm forgetting Mrs. Doubtfire.
Jumanji.
Well, yeah, but we did a review on Jumanji.
So
he was in that. Flubber. He was in Flubber.
nope.
He was in some robot movie, too. And I forgot the name of it. Biocentennial Man or something like that. He was in that. And then he was in the show Mork and Mindy, which was not a favorite of mine.
Never heard of it.
He was in Popeye also. That was the first Robin Williams movie I saw without knowing it was Robin Williams in that movie. I was very young.
I like Popeye.
I actually, it wasn't a bad movie. So, moving on. Okay, so where did I... Oh, yes, co-star. So, Dustin Hoffman is co-starring in this movie. Does he need an introduction? Okay, he was in The Graduate,
Nope.
All the President's Men, which
Nope.
I want to do a review on.
Nope.
So badly, but I probably will not, because it will probably only get a couple views. People don't want to watch that kind of movie on YouTube. But I could be wrong. I don't know. He was also in Runaway Jury.
Nope.
He was in this movie, I believe it was called Chef,
Nope.
that we just watched.
I do not recall.
We watched it together last week.
I do not recall.
The guy that bought the food trucks, he was in a restaurant. He was arguing with the owner about the menu.
Nope. Don't recall.
Remember the food critic that came in, Oliver Platt? He was the food.
Oh, I like him.
Yes, the owner was Dustin Hoffman, the guy that he was butting heads with at the beginning.
Oh, he's a douche.
Poor Dustin. She didn't mean it. And he was in Wag the Dog.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, that one, it was good, but it was one I would never watch again. Like I said, Runaway Jury, just to name a few. And then of course, I already described Maggie Smith. And then there's Caroline Goodall. She was Robin Williams' wife in the movie. Peter Banning is his character name.
Peter Pan.
Yes. Which he finds out after his amnesia or whatever he had. So Caroline Goodall, she was in White Squall.
Nope.
I don't really know her or anything else. So the story of this is Peter Banning, also known as Peter Pan. He was after Neverland. He decided to become a blood-sucking lawyer, and he of course had. So, his wife in this is Wendy's granddaughter.
Which is kind of weird.
weird or not, he becomes a lawyer. And yes, he has a wife and kids. His daughter Maggie is played by Amber Scott. She wasn't in anything else. And his son Jack, you would know him from the movie Dick Tracy. Oh, and what about Bob?
Nope and nope.
Oh, what about Bob as your favorite actor in it? Bill Murray.
Probably why I never watched it.
So, okay, so getting back to the story here. So yes, like I said, he has wife and kids, but he's really married to his cell phone in 1991.
That was a thing back then?
It was a thing back then, and he took it to a new level, like what people take it to right about now. He couldn't stay off the stupid thing.
Oh, like you with yours.
Yeah, don't start. He's always calling this guy named Brad. I'm guessing it's obviously his coworker. So,
Or his lover.
no, his lover's his phone. So it shows at the beginning that he's being rude during his daughter's play. He decides not to show up to his son's baseball game because he was on the phone with Brad. So
Interesting.
yep, you get to see all this fun stuff that I got planned here. So now he is Peter Pan. So what is he afraid of? Flying. So
Wait,
obviously-
Peter Pan flew. How was he afraid of flying?
Well, because remember, he forgot how to fly. So he's going on an airplane to go to England because you can't swim. Well, I mean, you can, but it would be your arms would be very tired. And so he has to fly across, of course, across the pond to get to England. So he's afraid of flying in an airplane. So his son does kind of make fun of that. He throws a baseball against the window, and you can tell he's terrified. So they get to Wendy's house in England, and you can tell right off the bat he's an annoying parent. He's telling Jack, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. Be careful, you're gonna break your neck. Blah 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 blah. So I'm sure
He cares.
I'm sure Wendy's very surprised when she sees this ridiculous behavior. But, I'm sure if he explained I'm a lawyer, I'm sure she would understand right off the bat. So they go to a charity dinner, and Peter's kids get kidnapped by Captain Hook. So he has to go to Neverland, and he doesn't know what that is. Again, because he forgot. So he has to learn how to fly, do all this stuff when he gets there. And the Lost Boys just give this guy... They can't believe this guy's Peter Pan. He's got glasses. He's got a stupid suit on. So they really do give him a hard time. So he has to learn how to do all this stuff again. So I am going to show the first clip at his son's baseball game.
Play. I said that. Why don't you take the video camera, go to the game ahead of me, film what I miss. Did I say so?
Mr. Bannon, this is the speech for your grandmother's tribute.
On cards?
Oh, yes, sir.
Number those. Who wrote it?
Ned Miller.
I'll represent your report. Read it back to me.
Lord Whitehall, honored guest. For the past 70 years, the Granny Wendy we honor tonight has given hope and care and life to hundreds of homeless children and orphans.
Great, very personal. Briefcase of Banning. Well, gotta fly.
Don't worry, more people crashing cars than on planes. So I'll take a flight across the street. Don't look down.
It's your time to go. It's your time to go. And remember.
So here we are. I told you he loves his phone. They even do a little draw with it. So yes, these are what the cell phones looked like in 1991. And now, here's the other treat I get to show you. What flying was like in 1991. And I'm going to show you that in just a second.
Who are all these people?
That's Jack, that's me, that's Martin, and that's you.
Where's my parachute?
So this is what it was like flying on an airplane. And yes, I know they're going overseas, but I don't believe they really give you that much food anymore and that much stuff. They tend to cheapen out. Oh, and the airplane is also called Pan Am. How original, Steven Spielberg. So I will show the next clip of when they are going to Wendy's house, and as you can tell, now my thing is when they're playing baseball, I don't know if you noticed, but there were some winter hats in the stands there, and I believe this is towards Christmas time, because as you can see, when they go to Wendy's house, there's going to be snow and Christmas decorations, but they don't really acknowledge this as being a Christmas film. But that's why I am doing this movie earlier, because of the passing of Maggie Smith. So I will show you when they go to Wendy's wonderful house in just a second.
Very expensive. You can put someone's eye out.
Maggie. Peter, so 14.
Oh, 14.
What you said you got Wendy? How do you do
Get up. Break your neck.
Is Granny Wendy the real Wendy from my play?
Yes.
No, honey, not really.
Sort of.
Jackie, don't be such a cunt. Take that gun out of your mouth. It's time to look our best. Remember, dears, first impressions are the most important. Shirt time. Remember, you're in England, land of good manners. Toodles.
It's snowing!
It's good to see you, Libby, Lisa. I said that.
Granny Wendy will be right down.
Oh, Wendy.
Well, this is the wonderful Mr. Banning in action. First, he tells him that Jack is going to poke his eyes out, or then he's going to break his neck. So he's already being the nagging father. He tells him to stand up straight and yada, yada, yada. Let's act proper, blah, blah, blah. And I actually thought when I was going to do this review that I was going to make a Wendy joke and say when they leave Neverland, they must all be boring stiffs. But Toodles is funny, and then Wendy is just old. She's not boring. She's actually telling Peter to stop acting like a moron in her own way.
She called him a pirate.
She also called him a pirate. I guess he is. I'm gonna say that he's actually worse. He's a lawyer. They are worse than pirates, in my opinion. So I will show the next scene here when he's as Hen saying that as Captain Hook is about to kidnap his children. So we are going to get to that scene next.
Hello? Peter, your presence is required at the request of your children.
So this is the scene here where apparently Captain Hook decided to go to Wendy's house. And he took Peter's wonderful children. But he was nice enough to at least leave a note behind. So as you saw, Toodles was pretty much he was the guy in the picture when the windows did open. That was not Captain Hook. That was good old Toodles. I wish he would have been in this movie a little bit longer. He was definitely a funny character in this, and I don't know if you know the story with Peter Pan, but Toodles was actually a lost boy. I don't know. That's just in case people didn't know the actual story. I don't know how big it is now. So I will show the next scene here where Peter is getting kidnapped to Neverland because he's trying to figure out how to get there. That's okay because his question is going to be answered. He's just not going to like it. And I'll show you that right now. So this is, if you haven't guessed, this is Tinkerbell, and yes?
She's not green.
Oh, well, we have our first mistake point out here.
Let me rephrase that. Her clothes are not green.
Okay, well, maybe she got the...
Her hair is not in a blonde bun. Just saying.
Oh boy, here we go. Steven Spielberg, you're getting criticized. Well, so this is Tinkerbell, who is apparently
not looking like Tinkerbell.
Not looking like Tinkerbell. Okay, thank you for just noticing something I wasn't going to point out in this review, but I guess it has been addressed.
Well, you should have.
Well, it's been addressed now, and she is played by Julia Roberts. Maybe Julia Roberts didn't want to dress like Tinkerbell. I don't know. I heard she was very, very demanding. So
well, she should not have been playing Tinkerbell.
I don't. Well, maybe Daryl Hannah just turned down the role. So
who?
She's blonde. She was a blonde actress at this time.
She could just wear a ring and head in a bun.
She could have. I know. So we all know Julia Roberts from Pretty Woman, Conspiracy Theory. She has been around for a long. Erin Brockovich was a big one. I'm guessing you haven't seen any of them. Okay. You have seen one. Which one? Oh. A Julia Roberts movie?
I'm pretty sure I've seen a couple of her movies.
I'm kind of...
But I did see one of the ones you just named.
I'm guessing Pretty Woman? Yeah, okay. I figured that was probably one of her big ones. So, okay, so yes, this is Julia Roberts. And she actually, I think she plays this part well, despite the wardrobe. So obviously she kidnaps Peter, and she's going to take him to, not Neverland right away. She decides to make a stop at Captain Hook's pirate ship, where we will meet Mr. Smee, played by Bob Hoskins, who we all know is in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Nope.
And he played Mario in Mario Brothers. You saw Mario Brothers. I did a review on it. He played Mario.
The new or the old?
The old.
Oh, that was horrible.
Okay, yeah.
So I kind of thought he was... I thought that was...
Nope, that was...
Here comes me.
Why did you name on him?
He got one bitten off by a crocodile.
Appealing spawn, how I despise them. Go get him, Jackson!
So Peter Pan is now at Hook's pirate ship. So I just introduced everybody to Captain Hook, played by Dustin Hoffman. And we are going to see the wonderful Peter Banning trying to save his children when he can't fly or do anything at all. So this will be interesting. Will he get his kids back? We will find out.
No!
But Thanks for spoiling it.
You're welcome.
We will, however, see a cameo appearance by the bald Tony Burton, who was in the Rocky movies. So if people have seen those movies, we actually have a nice shot at him. You can see his big, balding, shiny head. The sun is beating right on it. So I will show you that clip in just a second.
I'll make you a deal, Mr. Chairman of the Board. Fly up there and touch the outstretched fingers of your frightened children, and I'll set them free. I can't fly. Come on, explode out of there. Stop the charade. Free the children. I beg your pardon. You must be joking. Ha ha ha! Peter Pan has a real problem with height.
He's just been away from Neverland so long, his mind's been jolted by it. He's forgotten everything.
One week and I'll get him in shape. And you can have your dirty old war.
It's a trick, Captain. Let me blast that buzzing vixen to Pixie Hill.
You promised people the war of the century. Your whole life has been building to this moment. Mortal Kombat glory. Hulk versus Pan.
That is not happen.
Well, I call this the very poor effort of trying to save his children. I guarantee if his cell phone was in that net, he probably would have jumped and rescued it. I thought this was a very, very poor effort. I mean, yeah, it was very bad. Very bad. So, I don't know. I mean, the viewers can comment on this. I mean, what I was actually also wondering is, why didn't Tinkerbell jump in and try to save them? She probably could have done that, right? She could have used that pixie dust or whatever that made him sneeze. I mean, that probably would have worked.
It's supposed to make you fly, not sneeze.
Well, it made him sneeze. Actually, if it made him sneeze, it might have gotten him closer to his kids.
Probably.
I mean, he is a little out of shape, too. He does have, like, a...
Sketch belly?
Yeah, we will go with that. He doesn't look good. He looks like a very overweight IRS. So, I will show the next clip of when he goes to Neverland. And no, not Michael Jackson's house.
Ow. Whew.
All right, the show's over now. You put that thing away. Now put it down before you poke somebody's eye out. You're not old enough to shave. What are you doing with this photo? Been flying around. This is an insurance nightmare. What is this, some sort of Lord of the Flies preschool?
He's kidnapped his kids. He's just that shape. We have to make him stay already.
So I'm only going to show a couple more clips here. So this is the wonderful Neverland, and they were just so nice to him.
And who are they?
They are the Lost Boys
Of
Neverland. Not the Lost, not the Corey Feldman movie. No, this is the Lost Boys. These are pretty much, I don't know if you want to say orphans or whatever you want to call them. But they are just having a good time. This is a fun place, and I guess they do kill pirates. That is their whole thing here. So, of course, they say kill the lawyer. I'm not objecting. And they chase them all around the Neverland place there. So Tinkerbell pretty much says this is Peter Pan. He has his kids are kidnapped. He married Wendy's granddaughter. Yeah, they still don't really listen to her, but Eventually, one kid, I believe his name is Pockets, actually does recognize him and realizes he is Peter Pan. So now they are getting him into shape. So I do believe that Robin Williams did actually lose a lot of weight during this filming, from what I remember. Because I know he did have to get his weight down to fit into those wonderful green tights that I'm sure Richard Simmons made. So, the exercise guy?
Nope.
Okay. So, I will show a couple of those scenes with him working out to get into shape. But he also has to learn how to fly. There's a lot he has to do. She's got a week to prepare him. So, well, at least they don't have a Krispy Kreme over in Never Neverland. So, he's got that going for him. So, I will show you that in just a second.
Move on now. Ain't no time to celebrate. Ain't no time to celebrate. You are old and overweight. You are old and overweight. Gotta lose a million pounds. Gotta lose a million pounds. Get back off the ground. Reach that down and touch your toes. Reach that down and touch your toes. How long since you looked at those? How long since you looked at those?
All right, well, obviously it looks like he's having a very tough time. I would make jokes here, but the Lost Boys are doing that for me, apparently. So, but I would like to see our pal Roger Ebert try to do some of these exercises. I guarantee he would not be able to actually do it. And we will see their review on this later on in the show. It is actually coming up very, very quickly. I know. I don't like them either, but I have to get their little input on this.
You really don't.
It's good to see another person's perspective, even though there are 3 of them on the set. Oh, I'm sorry. Ebert counts for 2 people. So I will, it's not my fault the chair screams every time he sits on it, as I'm going to get my car keys thrown at me. So we will get to see Robin Williams fly in the next scene. So I will show you that in just a second. So this is the final clip that I am showing. This is Peter Pan flying, and yes, I was very amazed at this. When I saw this in theaters, I did not know how they actually got him to fly. So
Green screen.
I had it.
And rope.
Yes, I had all that explained to me. Although they simply used simpler terms, I said it was trick photography. So that's for making the Roger Ebert joke.
Give my Snickers back. You can't have it anyways.
Nope. So like I said, I did see this in theaters as a kid. My dad did take me to a lot of movies, and I hope that he knows that I did actually appreciate our time seeing them. But I'm going to throw him under the bus. He is the reason why I bought movies, because he used to bring them home for lunch during the summer. So yes, I threw him under the bus. He went to Media Play to buy them. So I will show our little film critics reviewing this movie, and I will show you that in just a quick second.
Adventures, but it's too little too late. Steven Spielberg, I'm afraid, may have grown up himself, because in this picture, I think he's so much better portraying adults now than he is kids. A surprising thumbs down, at least surprising to me based on my expectations for this picture.
And I give it thumbs down too. You know, there's a truism in Hollywood that at some point executives start making movies that are really their own life story. And here what you have is a guy who's very successful, surrounded by big business, but is told that he has to recapture his youth in order to be successful. And that may be the way that Steven Spielberg feels, and it may be the reason he made this story, which is unbelievably cumbersome in terms of explaining why an adult Robin Williams has to go back and become Peter Pan again, and then how he comes back after he's been Peter Pan. It's so complicated that you really have to ask, why didn't Spielberg just make Peter Pan? Then everybody would
There
be
was,
happy.
you know, we interviewed him, I think it was a year and a half ago,
Yeah.
and he had talked about a musical version of Peter Pan, and one thing this picture is really missing is music.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's an expectation that the audience has. Let me clarify what you're saying. You're saying that he needs a hit because his last couple pictures weren't big breakthroughs, and therefore, to be successful in some way, he has to go back and get that youthful quality that created E.T. and all
In a
those things.
sense, and you know, another thing that I really felt was disappointing here was Neverland itself. It really
That's
was,
the worst.
It looks like a really crummy movie set, and the colors are even wrong. It's all red and brown. It ought to be green. It's green and blue and magical and sparkling from the air.
Okay.
And you get there, and it looks like they're in the middle of a drought, and it's all crowded with extras.
Well, all right,
Too many
now, to
props
those
and too
people-
much money, and it doesn't look good.
To those people who said, but those pictures have been made, the cartoon series and Mary Martin and all that kind of stuff, I would say they could have made a modern Peter Pan. Make the Lost Boys a bunch of trainees in his corporate department. In other words, make it all modern in some way. I think by trying to...
What does that even mean?
What's happening here corporate-wise is hedging of bets. We'll do one story for the adults, and then we'll get a kid show audience picture in the middle with Neverland, and that part is a disaster.
It's pretty dreary. Coming up next, the same actor.
Okay, so here are the two clowns. And yes, again, these are the people that I used to watch on Sunday mornings. when I
Kid,
was
you
little.
have no life.
Well, that's what we had network TV. That's just, they were just on. And
You should just went outside.
It was winter.
I still would have went outside and watched them.
Okay, well, anyway.
Also, I went outside and played with a kid in the winter. It's not that bad.
No, I hated it. So, anyways, so there's this.
You grew up where it snowed 6 months out the year. How do you hate it?
Oh, I hate it. So, anyways, there's the. I'm sure Roger Ebert likes the cold. He's built for it. So, this is Roger Ebert and the wonderful, humorless Gene Siskel, and I want $1 every time Gene Siskel says this picture, because I could retire off of him saying it. He says it all the time. This picture, this picture, this picture. And then Roger Ebert is busy munching on his KFC as he's talking. So, anyways, as you can see, Gene Siskel has his own weird ideas, turning it into a corporate things with a bunch of trainee employees. That idea was just stupid. At least Roger Ebert at least said, why didn't he just make the movie Peter Pan? Which I guess
Peter Pan's already his own movie.
it's already been done. Yeah, right. He was trying. I think what Steven Spielberg was trying to do.
He was supposed to make it more about Huck than it was Peter Pan, though.
Right. Yeah, it was like an adult version. Like what was Peter Pan later on, and I mean this was kind of his own spin on it. I don't think it was.
Well, he can't
do
do
a bad idea.
He can't do Peter Pan as Peter Pan by himself because Peter Pan was already done
Yeah, right.
multiple times.
Yeah, it was already done. So
Hence why they just turned Tinkerbell into Tinkerbell instead of worrying about Peter Pan and Wendy.
yeah, yeah. So this was his own idea on it. I don't really penalize him for that. Were there flaws with it? I'm sure there was. I thought the crocodile was kind of silly. It was
What crocodile?
There was a crocodile with the clock on it.
What was a crocodile?
It was on the pirate ship.
Is it the one that ate Huck's hand?
Yeah, yeah. That was done kind of poorly. Rufio, I forgot to mention, was the leader of the Lost Boys, played by Dante Basco, I believe his name is. He was some voice actor in the movie Avatar. He wasn't in too much. He was in a Skittles commercial. I remember him as a kid. He was in Fact or Fiction, and Rufio was the new leader, and he bowed down to Peter Pan and gave him his sword back when Robin Williams showed that he was Peter Pan again. So that was the final clip that I showed. So I will not tell you the ending of the movie because just in case there are little kids watching this, I don't want them to know the end. This was a family movie, which is why it wasn't just for adults. It was a PG rating. And I did not see too many trailers of this. So like I said, I went into the movie theater literally blind. I had no idea what I was seeing. And as a kid, like I said, I liked it. And as an adult, I feel the same way. If I had to grade this movie, I would probably give it a B+. it at least deserves that much. I do believe it. I don't think it should get anything lower. If somebody wants to say otherwise, that's fine. I mean, it's one of those where I can understand why somebody wouldn't like it. Well, what did you think of it? Did you like it, or did you just...
Well, I was never into Peter Pan like that, so...
I really wasn't either. I mean, it really wasn't one of my favorite stories.
I never actually watched Peter Pan or read the book.
I never read the book. I did see the cartoon.
I did not.
And it honestly really wasn't one of my favorite stories. I did, however, outgrow cartoons in a way at an earlier age than most people, I think. I was more into live action movies.
Yeah, you're definitely going more out than I did, because I still watch cartoons to this day.
I still watch cartoons. I just didn't take them as seriously, and I would prefer a live action movie than a cartoon. So, but that was just my opinion. And I was wrong about the hit of 1991. I forgot how many good movies there were. The big blockbuster movie I should have known was Silence of the Lambs, JFK, that stupid Robin Hood movie with Kevin Costner, and Beauty and the Beast was, I think, number 13. Usually the Disney movie is usually the big hit, not in this case. So there are a lot of movies to check out in 1991. There's, just because I do reviews on them, maybe try looking them up and see what sounds interesting. The Addams Family is another one. If you are tired of the new junk that is out, there are a lot of good movies to check out, and that's why I do these older reviews. That's why I go back to the 90s, the 80s, and even the 1950s. So,
well, next week I think we're going to do Halloween Town.
Or Hocus Pocus?
Halloween Town first.
Halloween Town is first. Okay, so that'll be the spoiler alert. So, Halloween Town is going to be an interesting one to review.
Yeah, considering that you never watched it.
Yes, I did.
When?
Last year.
I made you watch it?
Yep.
Oh. Oh. Damn.
So that will be an interesting review. So I will see you next time. Comment below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you like the channel.